a while. Lots more to talk about here. I think I'm running out of time. I'm going to go to Todd because I want to get a call in before we take our first break. On line one, Todd, how are you?
Good, Dave. Pete, how are you?
Number one, sir. Thanks for calling.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. The reason that I'm calling is because of something that I seen this morning on Canada AM that sparked my interest about e-cigarettes.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently there was a study done, and 75% of e-cigarettes tested by Harvard scientists contained the chemical Diacetyl,
okay,
which is known to cause lung cancer. Yeah, now this specific, what it actually does is even worse than your normal type of cancer, which can be treated by many different forms. The only cure for this is a lung transplant. Apparently, yeah.
How does it equate or look compared to all of the millions of chemicals it seems in tobacco or in cigarettes these days?
I'm not really sure. They didn't really touch on that. The fact was it actually originally it comes from a particular type that makes it taste like butter. So it actually comes from people who used to work in popcorn factories or other places where they heat up this flavored butter. So the chemical that gets released when you heat this flavored butter, which is this diacetyl chemical, creates this rare thing called bronchiolitis obliterans. Like, I can't even pronounce it. It's crazy. But quoting from David Christian, the Harvard and School of Health, he says, in addition to containing varying levels of the addictive substance nicotine, they also contain cancer-causing chemicals such as formaldehyde and, as we stated, this diacetyl one as well.
Right. Are you saying that this is also in popcorn?
Yes, it is, but they say that apparently when you eat it, it is safe. That's what they say, apparently.
Okay. The big thing is, can you determine if the product you're buying is, what percentage was it again?
75%.
75%. So can you determine, is it listed there? Can you not buy that kind?
Well, it's specifically in the flavors of cotton candy and cupcake. But it's used in about 75% of all the flavors that they use. So I think people who are doing the switch from cigarettes to e-cigarettes really need to look at the facts and realize that it's probably not as healthy as they think it is.
Well, again, I'll stand by my notion that your lungs are not meant for anything but good fresh air, and that's hard to find these days too. But I mean, when you can't help it, you can't help it. If you're consciously adding to it by smoking something directly into your lungs, then you're sort of taking your chances. Obviously, it doesn't matter how safe anybody says it is. But here's the thing: if it was possible to determine before you purchase if it's a product amongst the 75% or one in the 25%, that would help, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. It would.
But no such labeling exists at the moment that you're aware of.
Unfortunately, no. Canada's not really big on labeling.
Right.
It seems they're calling it the popcorn lung disease.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, they've done studies, and they say, for instance, that e-cigarettes, regardless of how bad they might be, are still far better than tobacco. So if you're making the switch or using it as an alternative, then you're probably better off. But we're not really going to have a clear picture on the impact of the various kinds, and there are various kinds of e-cigarettes and ingredients you can put into them. And we're not going to know this for a long time. It takes years and years and years to find out, to see the results of folks who've been using the products for that long.
That is true, but given that they have been testing this diacetyl or diacetyl chemical in these factories, that has been tested. So we don't need to wait this long period of time because it's already been tested through these other forms. You know what I mean? Through these other facilities that are using this chemical. So now it's being used as a butter flavor in your e-cigarettes. So I'm thinking, anybody who's switching to the e-cigarettes should probably think twice and really look into it and really get the facts straight, because it's a bit misleading.
Yeah, chances are in short order. Remember when they determined or revealed that there's a certain chemical in the plastic drinking bottles? I forget what it was, BPA. It didn't take long for them to start advertising, when a product was free of that, And so maybe this is another, another occurrence of that sort of thing, and we'll know pretty much shortly. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not something else we won't find out about in time. So you're right. The safest thing is to avoid it, like we do a lot of other things we know that are dangerous or potentially dangerous to us, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, I know everyone doesn't have the same willpower. Everything varies, but I've been a smoker on and off my whole life, and I quit it cold turkey. And you're a little irritated and irritable for a couple of days, maybe a week, but after that, you feel amazing. And then your lungs start to come back, you exercise, you eat well. I mean, that's all